Many attendees at this summit use two words to describe the AI solutions they're using or looking for. Those words are ethical and responsible. Jim Ford is Director of Federal Partner Programs at Microsoft. I asked him if he sees a difference in the definitions of those terms.
Coming from Microsoft, we take a look at responsible AI and ethical AI really in the same breath. We don't really see too much of a distinction between the two, because if you take a look at our principles of responsible AI, ethics is throughout those principles. We have 6 principles of responsible artificial intelligence. Now, when you take a look at all of the different principles of responsible AI, things like accessibility and inclusiveness and fairness, a lot of the ethical considerations that you would have about implementing artificial intelligence in an enterprise environment are going to be included then in those principles.
Mm-hmm. How does one know that one is effectively meeting both the spirit, the intent of those, and then also the letter of whatever policies the spirit winds up implementing in an organization like a federal agency?
Right. And so that is through a combination of the application of the principles and making sure that you have certain guardrails in place throughout the entire development process. So one of the things that we're very proud about at Microsoft is that we utilize those principles of responsible AI from the inception of a project. There are also chief responsible AI officers and offices that are embedded with all of our product teams, with our sales teams. Every single employee has to go through training on responsible AI and how that can be not just implemented in a day-to-day basis so that it's almost muscle memory for all of us, but also so that there's a checks and balance system. Now, with regards to how that is then implemented in a government environment, we've been very proactive working with governments around the world to look at how those guidelines can then be enhanced through policy. Artifacts like the executive order that was released last year, the OMB guidance. We are very supportive of all of those efforts here in the United States and around the globe with regards to how those guardrails can be put into place and how those checks and balances can then be executed.
One of the challenges I imagine for all of those governmental organizations here and around the world is that potentially the adversaries that we might be up against in any kind of an environment don't necessarily have the same guardrails in place. How does that inform the way that one should think about ethical, responsible AI use?
Well, I think that much like any tool that can be used for good as well as nefarious purposes, that you need to make sure that you have the social constructs, that you have the moral constructs that align with your values, whatever those values may be, to make sure that those are being adhered to through the implementation of it. Now, it is absolutely true that there are state and non-state actors that are looking at the nefarious use of artificial intelligence in a variety of different ways. I think that what we can do in industry is help educate the government where necessary on what those potential dangers might be and how you could put mitigating effects into place so that you at least have that visibility that something might be happening. And that it's not a surprise.
Mm-hmm. How does an organization know that it's doing well at tracking those things? How do you measure success in an area like ethical artificial intelligence use, responsible AI use?
I think there's a variety of different ways. You can always look at checklists and such like that. You can look at adherence. You can have oversight with regards to that. Whether that be a third party or whether that be internal or whether that be a combination, which is probably most ideal. But I think right now we are in the forming stages of how that's actually going to look. I think that where we are right now with the advent and how fast that AI has taken off, that we are developing those policies and processes in conjunction with the development of the technology. So I think that we're at an exciting time for that, and I think it's going to take all of the players involved to really lean in and work across maybe traditional boundaries, whether that be government or industry or intra-government, in which to be able to then determine what we're going to do.